there is a certain kind of person the world can't control. Not because they are the strongest, not because they are the loudest, not because they never feel pain, but because they have learned something rare. They have learned how to stand in the middle of disrespect, rejection, provocation, betrayal, noise, envy, manipulation, and emotional chaos, and remain unreadable, untouched on the surface, unmoved in public, still in the eyes of the storm. And people misunderstand this kind of person all the time. They call them cold, detached, emotionless, hard to read, intimidating, maybe even arrogant. But what if that calm is not arrogance? What if it is self-mastery? What if the ability to act as if nothing bothers you is not about pretending, but about refusing to let the outer world dictate your inner state? Carl Jung once suggested that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And that is exactly what happens to most people. They think they're making choices, but they're reacting. They think they're expressing themselves, but they're leaking wounds. They think they're being honest, but they're being controlled by triggers they never examined. One insult ruins their day. One rejection shatters their confidence. One cold message sends them into overthinking. One disrespectful tone awakens an old wound. One jealous glance makes them doubt themselves. One moment of silence from someone they love becomes emotional chaos. And that is how the world owns you, not through force, but through reaction. Because the moment other people can predict your emotional buttons, they can play you like an instrument. But there is another way to live. A darker, quieter, more powerful way. A way where you still feel everything. But not everything gets access to your face, your energy, your attention, or your peace. A way where you stop performing your pain for people who secretly enjoy seeing it. A way where you stop advertising your wounds. A way where you stop giving free access to your nervous system. So no, this is not about becoming robotic. This is not about suppression. This is not about becoming fake. This is about becoming internally sovereign, because the real power is not in feeling nothing. The real power is in feeling deeply and still deciding what deserves a response. So, in this video, we're going to explore how to learn to act as if nothing bothers you. Not in a shallow self-help way, but in a Jungian way. A way rooted in shadow work, self-possession, psychological discipline, and the terrifying freedom that comes when you stop needing the world to mirror your worth. Because once you master this, people can no longer disturb you so easily, and when that happens, something strange occurs. You become calm in places where others become chaotic. You become silent where others try to provoke. You become centered where others try to destabilize. And that kind of presence changes everything. 1. Real power begins when you stop reacting immediately. The first truth is brutal. If everything gets a reaction out of you, you are still easy to control. That's the part most people don't want to hear. They say, "That's just how I am. I'm just passionate. I say what I feel. At least I'm real." But being reactive is not the same as being real. Sometimes it's just unhealed. Sometimes your anger is not strength. Sometimes your defensiveness is not honesty. Sometimes your impulsive response is not authenticity. Sometimes it is just a wound speaking before wisdom has a chance to arrive. And this is where Jung enters the room, because what bothers you most intensely is often connected to what is unconscious in you. The disrespect that enrages you immediately, the criticism that destroys your mood, the coldness you obsess over, the rejection that humiliates you beyond reason, the success of others that secretly agitates you, the opinions that hook you, the dismissive tone that sends you spiraling, These things are not powerful because of what they are. They are powerful because of what they touch inside you. And if you never examine that, then you remain a puppet of the outer world. So the first step in acting like nothing bothers you is learning not to answer life too quickly. Pause. That pause is everything, because between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a small, invisible space. Most people never use it. They collapse instantly into reaction. Emotion becomes action. Trigger becomes speech. Pain becomes performance. But powerful people protect that space. That pause is where your freedom lives. That pause is where self-respect lives. That pause is where dignity lives. That pause is where consciousness enters the room. The next time someone disrespects you, disappoints you, ignores you, tests you, or tries to provoke you, do not rush to show them what they did to you. Let them wonder. There is enormous power in being difficult to penetrate, not because you are hiding, but because you are choosing. When you react immediately, you reveal your openings. When you stay composed, you gather information. And often, the person trying to disturb you is watching for exactly one thing: proof that they got to you. Do not give them that satisfaction for free, because calm is not weakness. Sometimes calm is the most aggressive form of self-control. 2. The goal is not to feel less, it is to leak less. This is where people get the whole idea wrong. To act like nothing bothers you does not mean you become numb. It means you become disciplined. You stop bleeding emotionally in public every time something cuts you internally. You stop making your pain visible to people who have not earned access to it. That is not repression. That is selection. Rarely do people deserve immediate access to your inner world. Think about it. Why should every rude person get to witness your anger? Why should every manipulative person get to see your confusion? Why should every rejecter get to see your desperation? Why should every jealous person get to see your insecurity? Why should every emotionally immature person get the privilege of disturbing your peace? They should not. But many people offer this access automatically. The moment something hurts, it appears on their face. The moment something feels off, they chase clarity. The moment they feel disrespected, they over-explain. The moment they feel abandoned, they beg. The moment they feel betrayed, they unravel in front of the betrayer. And the tragedy is not just that they suffer. It is that they suffer publicly in front of people who are studying their weaknesses. Jung understood that the persona, the face we show the world, is not inherently false. It is necessary. Not everyone should meet the deepest parts of you. Not every environment deserves your vulnerability. Not every person is safe enough for your rawest truth. A healthy mind knows the difference between emotional honesty and emotional exposure. So learn to contain yourself. Not deny yourself. Contain yourself. There is a difference. Feel what you feel in private. Process it deeply. Write it. Walk with it. Sit with it. Understand it. Name it. But stop assuming the world deserves a live broadcast of your inner fractures. Some emotions need witnessing. Others need protecting. Others need transforming before they are expressed. And this is the deeper twist. The people who seem least bothered are not always the least emotional. Often they are the most psychologically organized. They know where to place things. They know that not every feeling must become a display. They know that silence can be more powerful than explanation. They know that dignity is often just emotional containment under pressure. And once you understand that, you stop asking, "How do I feel less?" and start asking, "How do I become strong enough to hold what I feel without collapsing outward?" That is a completely different kind of power. 3. What disturbs you reveals where you are still owned. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Whatever can easily disturb you still owns a part of you. If praise lifts you too high, you are owned by approval. If criticism destroys you, you are owned by opinion. If rejection defines you, you are owned by attachment. If disrespect provokes instant rage, you are owned by ego. If being ignored ruins your self-worth, you are owned by external validation. This is why the journey is deeper than appearances. You do not become unbothered by practicing a facial expression. You become unbothered by discovering what your soul is still dependent on. Most people want emotional control without self-confrontation. They want the posture of peace without the inner work of detachment. But detachment is not something you fake well for long. Sooner or later, life will test you where you are secretly weak. That's why some people look composed until they are rejected, confident until they are ignored, kind until they are challenged, calm until their ego is scratched, unbothered until someone else wins, and then the mask falls. Why? Because the disturbance exposed the hidden dependency. Jung might call this the confrontation with the shadow. The parts of you you prefer not to see, your envy, your insecurity, your need to be chosen, your hunger for superiority, your terror of being ordinary, your fear of abandonment, your need to be admired, your craving for control. These hidden forces are what make life's little events feel so huge. You are not only reacting to what happened, you are reacting to what it means to the unloved part of you. So if you truly want to act like nothing bothers you, start studying what bothers you most. Not with shame, with curiosity. Ask yourself, why did that comment hit so hard? Why do I need them to understand me so badly? Why does being ignored make me feel invisible? Why do I want to prove myself to people I don't even respect? Why does their success feel like my failure? Why do I keep needing emotional reassurance from unstable people? These questions are not comfortable, but they are liberating. Because every time you expose a hidden dependency, you become less governable. And that is what people feel around truly self-possessed individuals. It is not that they are emotionless, it is that there are fewer hooks in them, fewer buttons, fewer chains, fewer unconscious needs through which the world can enter and shake them. That is freedom. 4. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. One of the fastest ways to lose your power is to over-explain your emotions to the wrong people. This is a trap intelligent, sensitive people fall into constantly. They think, if I just explain myself clearly enough, they'll understand. If I just show my intentions, they'll stop misreading me. If I just communicate better, they'll treat me fairly. No. Some people do not misunderstand you accidentally. They misunderstand you strategically, because confusion gives them leverage, because your need to clarify gives them control, because your emotional labor feeds their sense of importance, because your over-explaining reveals how deeply you need to be seen correctly. And once they know that, they can keep you performing for their approval. This is why acting like nothing bothers you requires one brutal skill: knowing when silence is wiser than clarification. Not every accusation deserves defense. Not every projection deserves correction. Not every cold behavior deserves inquiry. Not every manipulation deserves engagement. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let people have the wrong version of you. That takes strength, because the ego hates being misunderstood. It hates not being able to control the narrative. It hates not being able to correct the record. It hates not being seen accurately. But peace often begins where the compulsion to explain ends. Jung understood that a great deal of suffering comes from identification with image. We want others to confirm who we are. We want to be mirrored correctly. We want our intentions recognized. We want our depth acknowledged. But if your identity depends on being accurately perceived by everyone around you, you will never know peace, because many people see only what their wounds allow them to see. And it is not your job to wrestle clarity out of blindness. Learn this sentence. They are allowed to misunderstand me. That sentence will save you. Because once you stop chasing understanding from emotionally limited people, something powerful happens. Your energy returns. Your nervous system settles. Your dignity sharpens. Your presence changes. You stop performing your innocence. You stop proving your heart. You stop begging to be read correctly by people who benefit from reading you badly. And that is when you start looking unbothered. Not because nothing happened, but because you finally realize that not every battle is worth your life force. 5. Your silence unsettles people more than your anger ever will. Most people think power looks loud. They think power is confrontation, dominance, winning the argument, making the final statement, having the better comeback. But deep power often looks like this. You see everything. You understand exactly what just happened. You feel it. And still, you do not perform. That kind of silence is terrifying to emotionally manipulative people because they expect access. They expect your anger, your defensiveness, your pleading, your overreaction, your explanation, your visible hurt. And when they do not get it, they lose control of the script. Silence disrupts manipulation. Why? Because manipulation needs emotional participation. It needs you to enter the game. It needs your reaction to complete the circuit. It needs you to explain, defend, prove, chase, panic, or explode. But when you go still, the game collapses. Now this does not mean never speaking. It means choosing speech with precision. A quiet person who speaks only when necessary has more impact than a reactive person explaining themselves all day. Jungian depth is not theatrical. It is condensed. It carries weight because it is not wasted. So when something disturbs you, ask, does this require a response? Or does it merely tempt one? Those are different things. Many things tempt a response. Few deserve one. And sometimes your calm refusal to participate says more than any speech ever could. It says, I saw it, I understood it, and I still refuse to hand you my center. That energy changes how people treat you, because people quickly learn where they can and cannot extract chaos. If every provocation gets emotion from you, they will keep provoking. If every mixed signal gets pursuit from you, they will keep sending mixed signals. If every disrespect gets an emotional monologue, they will keep disrespecting. But if they meet stillness, they meet a boundary they cannot easily penetrate, and suddenly your silence becomes a mirror. Now they are left alone with themselves. Now they must sit with their own ugliness. Now they must face the emptiness of what they were trying to provoke. And that is why the most dangerous person in the room is often not the most expressive one. It is the one whose emotions are no longer publicly negotiable. 6. Learn to process pain in private so you can move with power in public. Here is the hidden art no one teaches. You must build a private relationship with your pain. If you do not, you will always drag unprocessed emotion into public spaces and call it personality. Some people think they are just blunt. They are wounded. Some think they are just intense. They are dysregulated. Some think they are just honest. They are reactive. Some think they are just guarded. They are terrified. If you never sit with yourself privately, you will constantly act out your unconscious in public. That is why solitude matters. Not empty solitude, intentional solitude. A place where you can remove the persona and meet what is actually happening inside you. Sit down and ask, what am I really feeling? What story did I attach to this? What old wound did this awaken? What am I afraid this means about me? What am I trying to control? What validation am I starving for? What am I refusing to grieve? This is shadow work. And shadow work is what makes your calm real. Because without it, nothing bothers me is just an aesthetic, a performance, a mask with cracks in it. But when you genuinely face yourself in private, your public calm becomes believable. Not because you rehearsed it, but because you earned it. And the beautiful thing is this: private suffering, when processed consciously, becomes public poise. Not overnight, not perfectly, but gradually. You start noticing that things which once ruined your whole week now barely move you. People who once had the power to destabilize you now simply reveal themselves. Situations that once triggered panic now activate observation. The world doesn't necessarily get softer. You get stronger, more integrated, more aware, more difficult to disturb. That is why some people have a quiet gravity about them. They have cried in rooms no one saw. They have faced truths no one knows. They have met the parts of themselves that once controlled them. And because of that, they no longer need every emotion to spill into the world. Their peace is not innocence. It is craftsmanship. 7. The ultimate goal is not indifference. It is inner sovereignty. Let's make the deepest distinction of all. The goal is not to become someone who feels nothing. That is death of the soul. The goal is to become someone who belongs to themselves. That is sovereignty. A sovereign person still feels insult, still feels disappointment, still feels grief, still feels betrayal, still feels attraction, still feels anger, still feels fear. But these feelings do not instantly become commands. That is the difference. They no longer obey every emotion as if it were truth. They no longer worship every thought as if it were reality. They no longer surrender their peace to every external event. Instead, they ask, does this deserve my energy? Does this align with who I am becoming? Is this a real threat or an old wound? Am I responding from clarity or from hunger? Do I need to act, or do I simply need to endure this feeling without dramatizing it? That is maturity. That is depth. That is psychological adulthood. Jung believed that one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And perhaps that is the real secret behind people who seem impossible to disturb. They have met their darkness. They know their insecurities. They know their cravings. They know their pettiness. They know their need for love. They know their capacity for rage. They know the child in them that still wants to be chosen. They know the wounded ego that still wants revenge. They know the frightened self that still hates rejection. And because they know these forces, they are less possessed by them. That is the twist. The calmest people are not always the purest. Sometimes they are simply the most conscious. They know the storm inside them. They just no longer let it run the kingdom. And once you understand this, acting like nothing bothers you stops being fake. It becomes an act of spiritual discipline, a declaration that your mind, your face, your energy, and your nervous system will not be rented out cheaply to every foolish person, every passing insult, every immature game, every external opinion, every emotional test. That is not coldness. That is self-respect, reaching full maturity. So learn to act as if nothing bothers you, not because nothing does, but because not everything deserves access to you. Let people talk. Let them misread you. Let them test you. Let them underestimate your silence. Let them wonder whether you noticed. Let them be confused by your calm. Let them project. Let them perform. And you? Watch, breathe, observe. Because every moment you do not react unconsciously. You reclaim a piece of yourself. Every moment you refuse to leak your pain publicly. You deepen your dignity. Every moment you choose awareness over impulse. You weaken the world's control over your inner life. And one day people will look at you and say, nothing seems to bother them. But what they will not understand is this. It's not that life stopped being painful, it's that you stopped being available for emotional domination. You stopped handing your nervous system to strangers. You stopped needing understanding from the blind. You stopped explaining yourself to the committedly shallow. You stopped reacting to every hook. You stopped announcing every wound. You stopped letting every disturbance become your identity. And in that silence, in that restraint, in that depth, you became powerful. Not loud, not cold, not numb, powerful. Because the strongest person is not the one who never bleeds. It is the one who can bleed without making a spectacle of it. The one who can feel chaos without becoming chaos. The one who can meet disrespect without collapsing into it. The one who can carry fire inside and still speak with ice. So if you are in a season where everything seems to provoke you, good. This is your training. This is where you learn what still owns you. This is where you discover your hidden dependencies. This is where your shadow introduces itself. This is where your self-mastery begins. And maybe the real lesson was never to act like nothing bothers you. Maybe the real lesson is this: become so deeply rooted in yourself that what bothers others no longer has the power to rule you. That is not performance. That is transformation. And very few people ever reach it. If this spoke to you, comment, "My silence is my power."